С нами ли Вестник Кавказа?
Is Vestnik Kavkaza with us?
Good afternoon, Maria Vladimirovna.
Да, здравствуйте.
Hello.
Against the backdrop of a wave of negative messages and opinions in the media and social networks regarding Russian-Azerbaijani relations, we would like to hear the official position of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. What is the current state of relations between Russia and Azerbaijan, and what are the prospects for cooperation?
Наши отношения, я имею в виду Россия.
Our relations, between Russia and Azerbaijan, have a long history and are established by corresponding documents. Therefore, I believe that since there is a history and an active international legal basis for relations, these two factors will determine the future of these relations. Of course, there can be ups and downs in relations, and we are currently experiencing that. We are going through this process and feeling it deeply, because we are aware of what concerns official Baku. We understand well that the tragedy caused by the plane crash, which took the lives of both Azerbaijani and Russian citizens, is felt very deeply both there and here. We are aware, of course, that all of this is not happening in a vacuum, and that many people are trying to seize an opportunity for their own benefit. But it will not be successful, because attempts to drive a wedge between peoples and countries that have once again such a shared history and, by the way, a shared responsibility, including regional responsibility, and such prospects for development, are doomed to fail. Our countries, Russia and Azerbaijan, have partner-allied relations. That's how they have always been defined, that's the nature of our relationship. And I think that's how we should approach it. It's especially strange to see this now, and it's certainly concerning. The entire media campaign flooding the space right now is obviously being fueled by someone. It is also clear that there are those who wish to play with this situation, including by using the tragedy of the plane crash. I believe all these attempts are doomed to fail. To transition from such a nature of relations to some other kind of relations, I think all these attempts will fail. The level of our interaction, the depth and wisdom of our peoples, will allow us to overcome this challenge as well. Next point. By the way, I've been reading some fake news. Something we are refuting. For example, all the information surrounding the Russian house in Baku is just some kind of media dirt. We publish anti-fakes, but there are also some direct attempts, I've even read that Russia and Azerbaijan supposedly have no humanitarian cooperation at all. It's just impossible to read. I won't go into our shared history or the huge number of contemporary projects between our peoples in various fields of art, culture, and so on. But just for those who publish such lies, I'll remind them that actually the Azerbaijani Cultural Center at the Rudomino Library of Foreign Literature is successfully operating in Russia. The Haydar Aliyev Foundation is implementing numerous projects. The Azerbaijan Pavilion at VDNH. I've personally visited the Azerbaijan Pavilion. It's a beautiful, magnificent object of our shared history. Recently, on October 25th, Azerbaijan's Tourism Bureau was opened. Azerbaijan's cultural and humanitarian presence in our country is supported by the active work of numerous Azerbaijani national cultural autonomies. There are, by the way, around 100 of them. Our diplomatic presence in Azerbaijan and Azerbaijan's diplomatic presence in Russia is very active. Apart from embassies, for example, there are consulates of Azerbaijan in St. Petersburg and Yekaterinburg. So those who claim that Russia and Azerbaijan are connected only by the Russian house in Baku are simply ignorant. They are spreading such provocative things out of misunderstanding. I will emphasize once again, as a rule, the closer the history is, or the richer the history of countries and peoples, the more acute the perception of any problematic issues might be. And we are ready to resolve such problematic issues in a constructive way, as we have repeatedly mentioned. Not just mentioned, this work is being done through our diplomatic institutions, consulates, and our diplomats are working. I am simply repeating this once again in response to your question.
Повторяю это просто в очередной раз, отвечая на ваш вопрос.